Hi, I'm Jenna, and this is Just Ask Children's Answers from the Experts. Okay, so taking all this information together, when I talk about rethinking stress management, instead what I would like you to think about is how do you cultivate personal and professional longevity? And this is the formula for doing so. So we know that the resource pool is depleted whenever we're using our executive functions, and it's restored when we meet our basic needs. So in order to be energy efficient, we need to create habits for our basic needs in order to fill the tank and reduce the amount of executive functions. Now let me explain. Now, whenever you're making decisions, you use your frontal lobe. But when you do something again and again and again, you're creating what is known as a procedural memory. And the cool thing is when you have a procedural memory or a habit, it's stored in a different part of your brain. You can see it up here. It's stored in the cerebellum, which is in the back. This is muscle memory. So you can do something without actually having to think about it. So my 4-year-old, he's just learning how to dress himself. And when I put on the shirt this morning, totally smooth, took me no time at all. My 4-year-old, it takes him a good minute of, oh, I'm in the, what's the right hole and this and that. It's because he doesn't have a procedural memory yet, but he will, and it won't take any time at all. So the goal is let's use our basic needs and make them procedural memories. So let me show you what this looks like in practice. Now, before I do that, I'm going to tell you a really quick story, and this is something to hold on to as you think about the changes that you want to make. I have 2 friends. They had a truck, and they're like, let's make some money. This is when I lived in rural Utah, and they're like, we're going to go out to this watermelon farmer. We're going to buy the watermelons, and then we're going to take them to the county road and sell them for $1 a piece. Like, we're going to make some great money. Well, they go to the farmer the first day, and they buy the watermelons, and they bought them for $1 a piece. They go back to the road, and they sell them for $1 a piece. Well, they do this for a week, and they're like, this is not working out the way we hoped for. And they think about it like, let's do something. And my one friend says, I know what we need to do. We need to buy a bigger truck. Oftentimes, when we are doing something in our life and we're not getting the hoped for outcome, what we do is do more. We just need to do more of instead of doing different. So I'm about to take you through some of the changes I made. And really, a lot of what I was doing was not doing more, but instead doing different. So as you listen to these examples, start thinking about maybe what's one thing that you could do different to make that change. Okay, 1973 Dodge Dart. Here's my 2022 Tesla Model Life. So in the morning, when my alarm goes off, do I hit snooze? No, I never do. This was the first change I made. I just get right out of bed. Don't set my alarm to give myself time to do a snooze. This was a hard one to do, but there's something that happens when you hit the snooze button. It's called sleep inertia. It causes cognitive fuzziness and irritability that can last up to 4 hours. It's not good for our brains to wake up and then go back into sleep and wake up so quickly. So I always get straight out of bed. Do I know what I'm going to wear? Yes, I have to get dressed every day, so I don't make the decision anymore. I've created a habit that the night before I put my clothes out so I can just get dressed. I always say you can't dress this good without thinking about it, but every morning I don't have to think about it because I did the night before. Now, do I eat breakfast? Yes, every single morning. Just have breakfast. You have to do it every day. Make it a habit. So I leave the house and I get to work, and I haven't even had to think of these things. I've just kept my tank full without making decisions that I don't need to make because these are things I need to do every day. Now, I still see the person at work I don't like, and that still takes energy. I still have meetings and emails and fires to put out, and that takes energy. But I always stop mid-morning and I try to do at least 1 minute of mindful breathing, which is just centering myself and paying attention to my air breathing in and out of my mouth. Research has shown that doing 1 minute of mindful breathing after 60 minutes of a cognitively complex task restores your energy. So I just take a moment to do that breathing and I get a bump in my tank. Now, do I ask myself if I'm going to have lunch? No, I need to eat lunch every day. It fills my tank. So at night, I have a habit or a routine where I make my lunch. So it's already sitting in my office and it's ready to go. So I take a moment, I step away from my desk and I eat my lunch, but disconnecting completely and just getting that bump in your tank. Now the afternoon comes and my boss is still asking me to do those things, and that's still stressing me out. But in the afternoon, I always take a moment to just have a high glucose snack. I love chocolate milk. That's like my secret. So I have a chocolate milk. For you, it can be something different. But a high glucose snack can actually be a nice bump in your tank mid-afternoon. So I do that. And I do the rest of my day, and of course that drains my energy. Now when I go home, I know I have to have dinner every single night. So on Saturdays I do meal planning. I don't like going to the grocery store, but I do it every Saturday morning. It's a habit. Don't even think about it anymore. We're having chicken enchiladas tonight. Now the cool thing is I can go home and my kids can help me make dinner tonight. I have all the ingredients there, so it actually is a bump in the tank instead of a decrease. Now I know that safety need is important, so I have my guilt-free time. I'm lucky because I have a partner who's willing to like watch the kids while I go out and walk my dog, but it's just my time for me, so I get that other bump in the tank. Now, at this point, if I want to do something like be present with my family, if I'm like, you know what, I don't want to drink another glass of wine. I've already drank enough this week. If I want to exercise, I have the energy or willpower to do that very thing. So I make whatever change it is I want to make, which drains my tank. And then before I go to bed, I put out my clothes. That's a little drain. I make my lunch. That's a little drain. But you can see I go to bed with a lot more energy, which means that probably I'm going to start the day in a better energy, efficient place. So the goal of all of this is you got to let go of your growth needs and you got to hold on to your basic needs. And the irony is when I've let go of trying to achieve and be the best at work and really just focused on these specific things, what I've seen is more natural and sustainable growth in my life.